quarantine life we're living is a little bit different, but I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys have enough toilet paper at the house. But more importantly, this is pretty cool to be able to grow and as football coaches. So um, I know Noel talked about a lot of the end zone pass game, and I'm sure he gave you some philosophy stuff because he did a hell of a job with that. But I kind of want to start a little bit how we approach spring this year and from a philosophical standpoint, and then we'll talk about some techniques, guys. Um, Look, I'm an O line coach, man. So when I come to clinics, I go to things. No offense, I don't want to start looking at RPOs. I want to get to the nuts and bolts. How you teaching dry block? How you teaching reach block? You're the covered offense lineman on combo. How are you teaching that? Because at the end of the day, I got to be perfect technicians. When you're a big picture guy like Coach Mazzoni is, you're talking about narrow vision, high, but you're talking about a pass game in general. So I just want to make sure I preface my conversation so you guys don't get disappointed when you leave. And but I appreciate you all having me. See, like Richard Bishop, he just left the meeting because he thought, you know what, I'm not going to learn anything. But I'm gonna flip this around, okay? Um, just to make sure I know we got people from all over the state in different places. But I am the run game coordinator, offense line coach here at the University of Arizona. Make sure my screen is flat there. All right. And so look, I just kind of gave you a little personal deal. I played at Oregon State, played in the Pac-10 back in the day, and then played 5 years in the NFL, and I retired. And I got right into coaching. This is something that I was passionate about, um, and something that I wasn't able to do. If you guys have met me, if you guys have seen me, I'm not the biggest, strongest, most athletic guy you'll think of when you think of the NFL. But I spent all my time practicing my technique and focusing on that. So when I got done playing, I realized, you know what? I'm here to teach the next generation of football players, the next generation of linemen. So I've been very blessed in my journey. I retired in 2012 and went to Oregon State, then USC. I was with the Saints and in New Orleans. Realized, you know what? Just like you guys are doing, I was an assistant line coach. I coached the tackles, but I was drawing the runs. I was doing all these things. I thought, hell, I want my own room. That's what this game's about. That's what this profession is about. Is about teaching, coaching, influencing young people. And so I left and went to Ball State University, which is in the MAC conference, the Mid American Conference. Was assistant head coach and O line coach, um, and then I was able to join the University of Arizona. So it's been a great journey, guys. Been a lot of fun, and want to keep going with it. Okay, here we go. This is something I preach with my guys a lot. All right, because I think there's when we get them at the collegiate level, and then especially when high school coaches get them and they're a 4-star kid, and sometimes these 4 stars you guys see at your level, they don't want to do the right thing. So this is understood. This is things that require zero talent. I know you guys have all seen the slide, but it's very important to me, right? Being on time. There's no excuse for not being on time. Having a strong work ethic, all right, giving great effort, being high energy, all right, having a positive attitude. There's nothing bothers me more than negative people. All right, negative people brings down a room, brings down an organization. Okay, being passionate, using good body language, being coachable, doing a little extra, and then being prepared. None of those things did I ever say anything about how tall you were, how athletic you were, how strong you were. None of those things. So when I talk about when I'm in my room here at Arizona, I bring up guys. I don't want any excuses for you guys not being on time. I don't want any excuses for you guys not being prepared. And that's kind of how we start everything. Is they understand? I don't care how you got here. I don't care how highly recruited you are, whether you sign an NLI, whether you're a walk on. Everybody's equal when you come to my program, and if you fulfill these 10 things, you're gonna fulfill your destiny in however you want to say it. But if you do those things, you're gonna be a hell of a football player. All right. Look, something we focused on this spring was setting goals. Okay, setting goals was important to me. This is a drill. This is something I've done in the past, and really I thought was really relevant to my guys now. So we kind of approach it 2 different ways. You guys can see it's on a PowerPoint, but these were individual piece of paper. Okay, so this is our goals. This is something we started before spring ball. Obviously, um, with the quarantine, with what's going on in the world, we weren't able to see these things fulfilled. But I want to see short term goals, long term goals, and then career goals. Okay, short-term goals was really reflected on spring ball and summer. Okay, every spring it's a new opportunity to evaluate our players. It's a new opportunity for the players to prove that they have to prove themselves in spring. So, and every guy's different. You know, you have a senior starter, and his spring ball goal might be, you know, I really want to be better. Really want to be better in pass pro versus zero technique, and I'm a center. Or it might be a tackle. I really want to work on my short set in the quick game. Some freshmen would be short term goal. I want to learn the playbook. So everybody approaches it differently. Long term goal. What I was thinking was within a year. Um, my senior starters. Okay, look, your goal better be all Pac-12. All right, it better be. You know what? I really want to put myself an opportunity to play in the NFL. What is the big picture goal? Some young players might say, you know what, my goal is to travel. It's to be on field goal. It's to do whatever. And I wanted them to be realistic. I wanted them to look at themselves and say, you know what, I redshirted last year, didn't play, and I really want to make travel squad. Things like that, and then career goal. I think a lot of times in our profession, especially at the collegiate level, we spend a lot of time on X's and O's. All right, I'm going to flip this thing around. Um, I spend a lot of times on football, right? Getting that second step down, you know, two hand striking, all these things. And what I found was I don't focus, and a lot of people do this. I don't focus enough on the person. We get to know each other, but you know, what is your goal? What do you want to do in life? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be a high school coach? You know, those are things we talk about, but we don't always get in depth on that. So I want to focus on that this spring, and especially after I've been here a year and I kind of have a great understanding of my guys, and so I really want to focus on that. Um, and then what we did was we this was I know it looks a little different, but that was a 5x7 card on based on a card stock. And every day before the meeting started, the players would come in. We did this 4 times. So, but every day the players would come in and they grab the card and they would either write down if they knew exactly what they wanted to focus on for the day, they'd write it down. Or as we watch practice, they might realize, wow, I wasn't very good at this, and I'm going to work on that. And I think this is important, guys. I think if you focus on the big picture at really any position, you're going to get overwhelmed. But if you focus on one individual thing, and this could be, you know what, you'll see the towel drill in a second. I really have to open up my hips in the run game so my second step can get down. I gotta step over the towel. That might be their individual goal for the day, the daily goal. And I really wanted to isolate it and break it down for these guys. So when they went out to practice, they were focusing on that. Now, there's other things, right? If you choose a run game, you still got to go out there and pass protect. But at least when we're doing individual, and then when we're pre-practice or post-practice, they are thinking of those things. So that's something I was really good. I had a good friend of mine, Andy Levitri, um, who played 10 years in the NFL. We were teammates in college. He came on and met with my players and actually talked about this same deal of setting uh, daily goals and setting goals when I go out to practice. What can I focus on? Because you know, he felt as a player, if I just focus on, oh, I just got to be a better player, you're never going to get into incrementally better at certain things. He always felt like when he went out to practice, he wanted to get better at his two-hand punch or his footwork, and he'd isolate it. So I thought that was really good for us, and I've had good success in the past with it. Okay, and then we also spent time on creating championship habits. Okay, this is a concept. I really wanted these guys to focus on everything they do on a daily basis impacts the success or failures of the organization. Okay, so this is one quote, and I try to hit them with quotes every day. All right, and then winning is not a sometime thing; it's an all the time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Vince Lombardi. So I'm really putting an emphasis on that. When you show up to treatment, you are going in there with a championship habit. You are going in there early. You're there to work. You're there to get stronger, whatever, to get healthy, whatever it is. You're taking that approach to the weight room. You're taking that approach to the practice field. And that was the mindset I wanted to create. Everything we do, the little things matter. And I don't think that gets emphasized enough. When I was with Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints, um, we always talked about taking care of the little things. When you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. So I want to create those habits. All right, here we go. Let's talk about run game. All right, that's enough philosophy. I only have a little bit of time, but I want to talk about our run game philosophy here at the University of Arizona. All right. For you guys that don't know, that's Max Unger, player I coached at the New Orleans Saints and was at played in the conference at Oregon. He's a year younger than I am, but one of the best centers I believe to ever play the game. All right. Three keys to success. Okay. Foot pattern. Right. Foot pattern. Never stop your feet. Okay. We talk about in our foot pattern. If you start efficiently, all right, you give yourself a chance to succeed. Okay. And then a strike, knock his ass off the ball. Look, nothing I teach is soft. All right. We'll have times where we got to shuffle to cover guys up. We don't want to get off different levels, but at the end of the day, I want to knock their ass off the ball. All right. And then finish. Okay. 7 seconds of violence. This is something I think you can teach guys, but they innately have to have it in them. You have to have the mindset. I'm going to whip your ass, and I'm going to do it as long as I have to. Okay. And then 3 points of contact. Okay. Hands and flippers. We use flippers at times. I'm more of a two-hand strike guy. We don't double under. We don't do single arm or double arm. We two-hand strike guys because I want to knock them and create momentum. We use top of the pads lift or top of the pad lifts, and then your eyes and your hat placement. Obviously, we're trying to minimize the use of the helmet. All right. So when I talk about hat placement and eyes, I talk about where they are going if you were making contact with the defender with those parts. But at the end of the day, I really want to strike with my hands. All right. And then when I get into the strike, okay, upward thrusting motion. This is really important, in my opinion, in the run game. Okay. Bring your belly button. And this goes to the airplane method. Okay. If anyone's heard of this concept, I think this is very important to me. Um, when an airplane takes off, right, the belly of the plane is flat to the ground. Well, that is like our spine. Okay. I want my ass behind me, my hips behind me, I want my chest flat. I'm not talking about, you know, parallel to the ground, but I'm talking about having my chest down. All right, once I make contact and my feet start running, I begin to roll my hips. Okay, and that's the belly of the plane taking off. Okay, if I go from flat or my spine flat or parallel to the ground, and I go vertical, I'm never going to create momentum or power. Okay, so you'll see the airplane method when we talk about our fit and finish. And then we want to keep our power underneath us. Okay, not behind us. Initially, my ass and my hips are behind, and then I want to bring them through. I want to take away, guys, I want to take away that space. I want my belly and the defender's belly to come together. So the defenders, they want to extend and keep extension so they can shed and make plays. I want to suffocate my hips and take away all that space because that's going to eliminate their ability to make plays and shed me. All right. Is that if you guys understand that, then you're O line coaches. All right. And then I want to explode and snatch, take the breastplate off the top of the defender's shoulders. At the end of the day, I want to knock his ass off the ball. I want to take his shoulder pads over his head because that's going to take me in my upward thrusting motion. All right. Drills. Okay. So this is something we do. This is the beginning phase of our run game. Okay. That we're going to talk about in three phases. The beginning phase, um, the contact phase, and then the finish phase. Okay, so the towel drill. This is the first part of our run game progression, and it's all about learning to open hips and track landmarks. In the run game, I believe you have to give a offense lineman a landmark to track. We talk about the cylinder of the defender and going through the cylinder, but you got to give them a target. And whether that's for you guys a sternum, midline target, a play side number, a backside number, an armpit, a shoulder. I think it's very important to give them a target, but then always to remember you have to go through the defender to get to the target. Okay. So this is our inside zone dry block. Okay. This is when we are running inside zone, whether that's from gun, it doesn't matter. A lot of our stuff is from the gun, and I'm sure you guys are the same. But our coaching points for inside zone dry blocks. Okay. We are a sternum aiming point. This is when you're the right guard and he's a three technique. You're the center, he's a shade. Right tackle, you're a five technique. Okay. You are covered and you don't have leverage on your landmark. Okay. Sternum aiming point. The first step is a bucket step. I'm looking to a 1 to 3 inch step, and you see this, guys. That'll be the towel you'll see in the next clip. But that's my towel. I'm stepping over. I don't use boards. Okay, I understand. I don't use boards because boards get static. I want to start efficiently, and then now I have to learn how to play in a base. Okay, first step is 1 to 3 inch to align hips. Second step, I'm matching his near foot. Okay, I'm matching his near foot. I'm gonna hit him dead center, and then I'm working to his play side number. And then on the backside, this is a concept we use on the backside. Alert to drop set for more width and more depth because you guys know how it is. You're cutting off a 4 eye at the tackle position, a 2 eye at the guard. Everything's going to happen faster and you have to go flatter. Okay. And then in the run game, we want a strong inside hand to control the defender. Okay, so here is our towel drills. This is something we do on a daily basis, and it's really about the beginning phase of starting our inside zone drive blocks. Well, you can see, I want to talk about getting that first step down as quickly as possible, and I want a two-hand strike. Okay, and you can see 74, his hips are behind him. As he makes contact, my belly button rolls, my hips roll. Okay, I heard just like this. I went to the Cool Clinic a couple years ago, and Dan Roshar, um, who's now the O-line coach of the New Orleans Saints. He was a tight ends coach when I was there. He talked about guys getting the first step down fast so your second step can get down faster. Because we all know in the run game, when your second step hits the ground, that's when you're generating the most power. Well, a lot of coaches, including myself, were focused on the second step. We wanted the second step to get down. And what he did was he said, okay, if I got to get the second step down fast with the power, I have to focus on my first step. So that's something I took into my coaching resume, what I do as a coach, and start talking about that. But we're going to go down the line. That's our right tackle. Here's the green guys. They're kind of a little bit injured, so they're kind of tough to watch. But here's an efficient. This is a fifth-year player. Okay, you can watch how fast his footwork gets on the ground. He is two-hand strike. And look, I'm focused on the feet on this play, so I'm not too worried about the elbows, the hands. I'm really working about the target, the landmarks, and the track. Okay. Well, you can see I want to straddle this towel right here. Boom. That's going right down through my midline. I'm working on this 45-degree angle. All right. And then as we watch it, okay, so here we go. So this right tackle, okay, this is what we call bucket drive. This is inside zone versus Stanford. The right tackle is opening his hip. All right. And I'm hitting it through the cylinder of the man. Okay, hitting through the cylinder of the man. The center is doing the exact same forward. He has a bucket drive on this combination. Left tackle, you can see, has the same technique. All right, but he steps underneath himself, and now my second step crosses over. Okay, but that's what I want the bucket drive like. And now you can see the right tackle. We'll talk about finishing, but his hips are behind him. He ends up getting shed. All right, the center does a great job bringing his hips, and now we got to have a strong inside hand control. Okay. All right. Now you can see the right guard steps over the towel, takes him on the angle. Once again, strong inside hand control. Okay. But those are the zone tracks. I want to see those feet step over the towel, step over the towel. Once again, left guard. You could always look. I could show you guys a million plays. I'm going to show you two good examples. And you know what? Darn it, there's two bad examples. Left tackle doesn't step over the towel, right? Doesn't So he doesn't generate power in a second step. Right left guard steps underneath himself, doesn't generate power. Now, do they get a good landmark? We have success on the play, yeah, but our technique can be better. Okay, here's a great example. This right tackle here, bucket stepping on this cutoff block. We're running inside zone to the left. He has to cut off, and I just talked about being faster and flatter. This is what a cutoff looks like on the inside zone play. Okay, we're trying to distort. We have to get a leverage on the landmark, which is dead center. Okay, that's very important to understand. You got to go faster and flatter. All right. Now we'll talk about reach blocks. Okay. So when I'm reach blocking, this is going to be, we call it inside zone, outside zone. I think people get over focused on it. Is it tight zone, inside zone, mid zone, outside zone, stretch? I'm like, damn, well, then you got too many runs in the game plan. So we go inside zone, outside zone. And then our understanding of the concept tells us a lot about the run play. But if I'm reach blocking, okay, this is going to be your outside zone where the ball carrier is going at the butt crack of the tight end, for example. All right. But the play side armpit is our aiming point. Okay. Play side armpit's the aiming point, and I'm focused on my first step is a drop step. So now I'm drop stepping for more width and more depth. Once again, it's to align our hips for success. All right. I believe if you don't open your hip, if you don't lose a little bit of ground, your second step will never drive to the crotch of the defender. And I know there are people out there that will disagree, but I will firmly argue with you until the cows come home. You have to open your hip. And when people talk about lead stepping, they pull their film up and they still lose a little bit of ground. Okay. But I'm not losing a lot. 2 to 4 inch step, two hand strike on the chest plate. I'm a two-hand strike guy. I want to knock his ass off the ball. All right. And I want to create lateral distortion with the defensive line. Okay. Um, and then the wider the defender is, the more your hips must open. But once again, outside zone, inside zone gap schemes, you have to go through the cylinder of the man. Okay. You don't circle him, you go through him. All right. And then on the backside, alert the drop step for more width and more depth on the backside. Okay. That's how I teach a reach block. It's a drop step reach block, play side number or play side armpit aiming point, second step to the crotch of the defender. Okay, here we go with the towel drills. The left tackle does it's not great. He crosses way over. All right. What I'm trying to do is drop step. My second step should go right on top of the towel. That's going to take me through the cylinder of the man. Okay. It gets better as we go with this film. But the left guard drop step, second step, step on top of the towel, and I'm getting to his armpit. You can see, guys, we are not scooting, we're not shuffling. I'm knocking his ass off the ball on really a 60-degree angle, and I'm attacking that armpit. I think this is a really good job. The center crossover, but I get it. The defender lined up wide. Here's a great example on these last two with the right guard 76 here. Drop step and second step, step on the towel. We're rocking and rolling, okay? And we watch the right tackle. This is really efficient footwork by him. Drop step, clear the backside foot, get to his armpit. All right, here we go. We are running. Look, this is a man scheme on the backside. We are running outside zone on the front side. Okay, so right tackle, there's the drop step. Sure, because foot get down fast. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can pinpoint knickknack. But at the end of the day, he goes through the cylinder of the man and gets his nose to the armpit. Okay, gets his nose to the armpit and stretches this defender. All right, what we want to do is we want to create stretch on the covered offense lineman. I'm realistically not asking this right tackle to knock him backwards. I'm saying stretch him to the sideline. Okay, 14, this linebacker, he has the B gap. When I pause this film, that's a big ass B gap for that linebacker to fill. Okay, so that's what's really important to us. And then going through the cylinder of the man. Okay, the center should be doing the same thing. What I tell the center here, I can read his numbers in HD. Right? What we talk about that HD. I could see 5 and a 0. I want to see 7 and 2. All right, kind of where the seven's blinded to me. I want my shoulders to mimic the running back shoulders. So if I'm square, I'm not on the outside zone aiming point. That's a good look at a reach block. Okay, here we go. We're down inside the 10. We're trying to create yards. We got a 6 blockers. We got a 7-man box. But you can watch this right tackle, drop step, second step, get down. I'm creating width. Okay. I'm trying to stretch the defense. The left guard should be doing the same thing. Drop step. And look, he is short on his landmark. All right. I want to hit the guy all the way in the armpit. Okay. Right tackle, you got to go. He takes a little drop step and never gets to his landmark and ends up being even with the guy. Okay, great reach block by the left tackle here. I get it. We gained 3. It's all right. All right, and then here's a good look at the right guard here, reaching this 3 technique. Okay, I'm working to his armpit as this defender moves. I'm going to go heavy inside hand. Look, if he stays outside, that ball carrier is going. I got to put my foot in the ground to get north and south. That ball should be hit right here. Now he winds all the way back. I get it. But once again, the right guard. Now, once you realize you have stretch, focus on that inside hand, that backside hand, so you can control this defender. All right. Now we use this is a we use for our inside zone and our gap schemes. We call it a crack of the ass step. Okay. So this is the right guard, and it's inside zone to the right, and I'm working with the single, taking a crack of the ass and get vertical. This is a left guard on a deuce block. Okay. So crack of the ass, get vertical. Whenever you're the post player, okay, I don't care if it's in, I don't care what zone it is. If it's inside zone, outside zone, a gap scheme, you have a post player and you have a dry player. So we use the crack of the ass step on when we are the post player, specifically on inside zone and gap scheme, just so you guys understand that. And all I'm trying to do is literally, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm trying to move the crack of my ass a little bit because I want to generate power and generate force when my second step gets through. So this is always a play side aim number aiming point. First step, God, I keep getting guys leaving the meeting. It must be boring. All right, but my first step is a lateral gather. I'm trying to step over this towel. going lateral, I'm gathering, and then my second step is going vertical. I'm trying to transition my weight to my right foot so I can drive my left foot vertical up the field. All right, and you are the post player in this combination. So look, that film, I'm limited on film at the house right now, but you can see this, okay? So watch, this is a center, and I'm working a combination with the backside guard, but that's the lateral step. Second step, get vertical, attack the play side number. All right, and you can see this is Taos. Look, we got guys with their helmets off. I'm kind of walking. This is an early in practice, a pre-practice deal where I'm just trying to get their footwork going. Okay. All right, here we go. So here's the center. All right, so this is a crack of the ass step. We are comboing the left, the center, and the left guard are comboing the zero to the four to this linebacker right here. Okay, so I'm working on it now. I tell this center, you got it. You take your crack of the ass step, get your second step going up the field. All right, but that's when we're using this step. We play a lot of odd front teams. So realistically, the center and the tackles utilize this step the most when we see the odd front. Okay. But this is a great look at it. Get going. Once he clears, guard climb. All right, same thing here. Here's the center versus the zero nose guard. It's inside zone. The right guard and the center are combo into two. We're fanning here. We're cutting off on the backside. Okay, but that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to go anywhere. I'm trying to move the crack of my ass 1 to 2 inches and work this combination. Okay, and really, it's so I can give the backside lineman some room to hit. That's what I'm really trying to do. Okay, so those guys are really our three phases of our three zone steps. Okay, you got a bucket drive, a drop step reach, and then a crack of the ass. Okay, we use that all the time. I mean, that we are a zone team. We pin and pull, we run, but those are our three main zone tracks we use. The crack of the ass carries over to our gap schemes. Okay, the only other footwork we use is a down block on a daily basis, is a down block, and then a gap step deuce. Okay, other than that, you just saw our daily drills and what we try to accomplish and get these guys to understand their zone tracks. All right, the next thing we do, okay. So now we talk to the beginning phase of the dry block or reach block or whatever block you're doing. Now it's the contact phase, okay. So once I make contact, look, you're going to have guys that make contact, they stop their feet and lose the rep. I truly believe that the first guy, once contact is made, the first guy to run his feet and roll his hips is going to win the block. Okay. So, excuse me, you have to train that. You have to have different ways to do it. I don't use a lot of sleds. This is actually the only sled I use. And if you guys have it, great. If you don't have it, you don't need it. I think it's a great teaching tool. Okay. And it helps guys helps teach guys how to play grounded and have their ass underneath them rather than behind them once they've made contact. Okay, so this is something we go from the towel drill, we go right to the left sled, and then we go to our fit and finish. Okay, so it's our left sled. So you can see this thing is on a hinge. That this piece right here drives in, then the sled rolls up. Okay, and you'll see the hip work by the guard or by these two defenders. Ass behind them when I make contact, run my feet, roll my hips. I'd like to see this defender's hips get rolled a little bit more and over exaggerate this way. You can see, I want to see this linear positioning by the far offense lineman. Okay, so keep rolling the hips. So we come back, we do it a lot, do it two in a row. Okay, just get the fill. But once again, I want to see those hips roll and my belly button and my hips engage on the block. Okay, now we go to fit and finish. There's your boy Jordan Morgan, Louie. All right, took a nice clip of him or a picture of him, and I don't know. My GA made some cool artwork. All right, but this is fit and finish. Once contact has been made and your feet have stopped, the opponent who runs his feet and rolls his hips first will win the block. I don't care who you're blocking. Look, I blocked Vince Wilfork, and I had to run my feet the whole goddamn time because he was so strong. But I truly believe you got to run your feet, roll your hips. All right, so this is what we call a two whistle drill. Okay. So I'm going to say I don't actually use a whistle. I don't blow the whistle very much, but I say set go. They are taking a bucket drive. So they're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're getting fitted. And then I say go again. Their hips, when they're engaged, are behind them. The second go, I'm going to see them run their feet, roll their hips, all from being static. So you can see it here. Say go, go. And now they're going to run their feet and roll their hips. I want you guys to focus on 74. If you guys can see him, he's really trying to lift the shoulder pads. He's trying to suffocate his hips and get in that upright position. That's really important to this on a run block. All right, so here, this is him again at left guard this time. All right, goes for a drive block. We're running inside zone. He's made contact. His hips are behind him, and you can see him roll his hips. He is trying to get vertical, suffocate his hips on this defender, so that way the defender can't shed him. All right, same thing for the right guard. Keep running your feet, right guard. Run your feet so he can't shed you. Center does a great job doing it on the second level. Okay, we're knocking people's asses around, and we're trying to finish guys all at the same time. Okay, so it's twofold. So you just saw kind of the fit and finish. You saw the left sled, and it's kind of all encompassing. But it's also that mindset when you watch this play here. All right, watch the right guard and the right tackle finish these guys and run their feet. Right, I don't care who gets the ball handed off. I don't care if JJ has that ball or Khalil has it. We are going to run for a lot of yards. But it's that mindset of finishing guys. It's that mindset of knocking people's ass off the ball, running my feet, rolling my hips. All right, here you go. Here's a great look at the left guard here. Okay, just so we can see bucket drive, bucket drive. All right, center's going crack of the ass, bucket drive. These two are working in combination. Left tackle's bucket cutoff. Watch 54 as he makes contact. See how his hips and roll and they engage on the defender, and he suffocates himself. All right, he suffocates the hips and doesn't allow the defender to shed a block. All right, and then when you get down here on the goal line, okay, this is just a left sled, and you guys know how it is. Look, we got, I don't know, 13 guys in the block. This right guard needs to hit this guy with his ass behind him, roll his hips, and whip his ass. Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. And you could see when you see it from the sideline, all right, you could see him in an erect position, vertical, and allows the running back to find a running lane. All right, now we go to our 2-to-1 combos. Okay, so I'm running out of time. I'm not running out of time, but what I do is try to isolate things. When you're early in spring training camp, we're going to isolate everything and teach it individualized. So you just watch the inside zone drive block, reach block, crack of the ass. We went left sled, fit and finish. Now we're going to go to our combos, 2-to-1 combos, and then we have 1-to-none combos. So make sure that this is all a progression of individualized blocks. Okay. So here we go. So I got combos 2-to-1 inside zone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I had a little hang on, guys. I had a little issue. All right, let me get back to this. All right, sorry about that. We all have technical difficulties when we're at our house. Okay, here we go. 2-to-1 combos. All right, so this is when you are the we're something's going on here. Jim, we got a I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties. The film won't play.
Take your time, coach. It happens.
Yeah, we're good, coach. Just
Okay.
Steve,
How many people we got on the Zoom? What do we got? We down to like 10 now?
Yeah, we got 100, coach. We're 100 strong. We're capped.
Oh boy, I feel blessed to be like Noel.
While he's getting that situated, guys, up next, I know Aaron Flugrad's listening, but we'll have him, offensive coordinator, up next up at NAU, talking about, creating explosives and drop back pass game. And then after Aaron at noon, we'll have Jeremy Springer, the special teams coordinator up at down here at the U of A. He'll be on. And then Taylor Mazzoni, receivers coach, Darren H., as well as AJ Stewart, the new running backs coach. So that's the lineup for today, and looking forward to having you guys on all day.
Good, Flugrad. Aaron, hopefully you brought some extra people to watch. I always feel jealous when I speak in between two coordinators. Everybody wants to watch those guys. All right, so here we go. So we're going 2-to-1 combos, okay? This is important. All right, back to the O-line play. This is important. This is working the crack of the ass step, getting vertical. This, for example, is a left guard, and we're comboing a 3 technique on inside zone. This is the center on inside zone, and I'm comboing a backside shade or left tackle or a right guard. It's all about, I don't care what hand is down. It's all about you are covered, you have leverage, and I'm trying to go 2-hand strike on the down defender. And now what I'm trying to do is see 53, how he rolls his hips. Once I transition to second level, I need to refocus and drop my hips again so I can hit the defender with power. Okay, it's all about that transitioning from second level or first level to second level. If I don't drop my hips when I go to the second level, I'll be off balance. All right, so this first clip is the right guard here, okay? It's a better clip from the wide. But as you can see, he never comes back to balance when he gets to the second level, and the defender is able to hit him and shed him. All right, this is really important when we talk about transitioning to second level. You got to get your ass to balance, okay? Both guards actually don't do a very good job of coming to balance. All right, here we go. Here's the center. All right, we are working that crack of the ass at the center position. All right, get vertical. Now I'm transitioning an inside zone to 33. But you can see he rolls his hips and then he disconnects and transitions to the second level defender. All right, once again, here's the center. So now he's working this backside shade. 1-2, and look, this is 4th and 1. 1-2, and then now I got to transition and come off on number 2 on the linebacker right now, okay? So it's really important, and everything you do, you guys know how it is in the run game. Things happen faster, things happen slower. So you got to train those things. You got to train on 2-to-1 combos, or maybe when you get to you get the backside tackle in there or the guard, whatever it is, and train those linebackers. Are they running downhill right now? Or are they read and react players? You just got to train those so you get used to it. All right, once again, here's the center again. Crack of the ass. Now my hips have engaged. Now I got to transition to the second level. Okay, that's what we're really trying to work on in this drill. All right, and then we take the drill and we go to what we call 1-to-none. So conceptually, 2-to-1 combos is our inside zone combination block, and then 1-to-none is our outside zone combination blocks, okay? And then once again, it's still about transitioning from first level combination to second level. All right, here's this defender. He gets, all right, so now this is your left guard. It's a 3 technique. It's outside zone. I got to get to my landmark. This is the left tackle, a center. I don't care what position you are, but you are covered. You have leverage on your landmark, and you have to get to the second level defender. All right, now we take what we call a bucket step again, because I have leverage in the run game. All right, you can see the start. So here we go. Here's an example. This is Colorado running the outside zone play. All right, left tackle is going 1-to-none here on this 4-eye because he doesn't have leverage on his landmark on the linebacker. This center is going 2-to-1 because he has no leverage on his landmark. So Cody is running and cutting off. So you can kind of see both drills simultaneously working. So there's the 1-to-none by the left tackle. Here's 2-to-1-to-none by the center. All right, that's what I'm trying to emphasize. 1-to-none. And look, guys, when I talk about, I know this is a common question in the O-line play. When you are in combination, do you go 2 hands or do you go 1 hand and keep 1 hand free? I believe if you have leverage on your landmark, you 2-hand strike the down defender, okay? If you don't have leverage on your landmark, this left tackle, I'm going 1-hand strike, okay? I don't think there's you could do it either way, but that's how we do it. All right. If I have leverage on the linebacker, I'm going to two-hand strike because I'm going to hit him with more power and have a better chance of getting some movement. All right, left tackle 1-0. Center goes 2-1. Well, he ended up staying on, so he ends up being a two-hand player, heavy backside hand. All right, guys, that's kind of what I had. Switch camera. We can go to some Q&A, but I just want to talk about some run game philosophy, and really talk about a dry block, a reach block, cracking the ass, and then how do we individualize those blocks and then transition. The next phase of that is really going 2-on-2 combos. So putting a guard and a tackle next to each other, a center and a guard and a backside tackle, whatever it is, and working those combinations. And then it goes to 3-on-3. Then it goes 5-on-5. Okay, that's how we progress. But I think it's very important starting with individualized blocks first. So, Jim, we got any questions? Louis, whatever.
Yeah, any questions out there, guys? You raise your hand there, and then we'll see if we got questions there. Good job, Coach. Lots of good stuff there.
Appreciate it. Thank you. That's fun. I get to sit by my pool. The sun's coming out. I mean,
Nice.
thankfully, the sun rises over the house. I get a little shade in the morning.
All right. Cameron Condor, first up.
Coach, quick question here for you. How are you guys handling the pesky four eyes in the tight front?
Yeah. Like, are you talking about on the front side or the back side of it?
On the back side.
On the back side. So kind of two different ways we can cut off, right? And I think one thing you got to tell the backside tackle is treat them. If you're running inside zone, you have to drill it like it's outside zone for the backside tackle, because everything's going to happen faster. If your responsibility is cutting off the four eye, you better open your hips and run. And once they get the feel of that, then they'll understand where their aiming point has to go, because you guys know what it is. They put the four eye there to say, you know what, my four eye is going to whip your tackle's ass. But if you get leverage on him and you knock him across, that ball can wind back. The other thing you can do is you can block out with the guard and wrap the tackle around. And I think that's a good adjustment. If you get those four eyes that don't move a lot, I would say, you know what, full block. So guard block out, tackle wrap around, and then you can artificially create really large B gaps. Those are the two ways we've done it. And then if you run an outside zone play, you know, high school, you guys cannot cut anything, correct? Louis, is that right?
Correct. No,
Okay.
no cut in high
So
school.
no cut blocking. So like we'll use that because we can still cut on the first level. So that's a technique we can use. But learning how to open and run and cut those guys off is really key.
Good question. Anybody else?
James Hardy, you don't got a question, man? Iron Ridge? All right, Walter Dupree.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Any of those guys who left the meeting, they don't understand that the game's won up front, right? It's
Walt, I like
those
it,
line coaches than the coordinators. Coach, you didn't get to it in your discussion there, but when you are teaching the down block, what's your coaching points?
So I think there's two ways to teach a down block. All right, we lead step the down block, okay? And I know a lot of people say it's not the best, it's not the most powerful, but when we down block, a lot of times we have polars, and usually they're adjacent to them, okay? So if I am the right guard, for example, and I have a 2-eye, okay, and I'm down blocking the 2-eye and I'm pulling the center, okay, what I tell the guard is I'm going to lead step. So I put them, you know, where the line, if you made an L with the lines, okay, so I put him behind this line right here, and I want to lead step on a 45-degree angle, and I'm looking for 2 inches. And what I believe is you lead step at your arm, at your target, which we say is the near ear. Okay. If I'm the right guard, my inside hand goes to the sternum, my outside hand goes to the clasp of the shoulder, which would be right here. Okay. So I'm near ear, inside hand to the sternum, outside hand to clasp the shoulder. If the defender continues to go up the field, I'm going to continue pressing with my right hand and drive him inside. If he plays over the top, I'm going to extend and then rip with my inside hand. okay, because I know I'm walling him off. And I do that for the center, the two are the basically a center, a guard, and a tackle on the front side. We don't do a lot of gap schemes. If I were, I would open my hip just a little bit, what I call a down or a gap step, and I'm trying to step into the gap a little bit to open my hip so I can go faster on the angle, knowing that if I give a little bit of, if I lose a little bit of ground, but I get better wash, I'll have more success. So we lead step, and that's kind of how I teach it because of what we do as an offense. So I lead step, and then my second step is literally don't cross over. So I would have that near foot. You're an O-line coach, so that near foot I want to straddle my feet. Okay, I want that near foot to go down my crotch, inside hand of the sternum, outside hand of the clasp of the shoulder, aiming points to the near ear.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep. I got 2 hands up there. Nice. Got 2 questions coming up.
You got him, Louis?
Coach Hardy, you're up.
Hey, quick question, Coach Devin. I have a question on just how you teach and what do you emphasize when you're talking about your pin and pull technique?
Yeah. So are we talking about the pin or the pull?
Pin.
Pin. Okay. So the pin concept is really, if you just heard, was the down block. Okay. So anytime you're blocking down, you are pinning the guy. So we lead step, and that lead step is essentially to get our ass out of the hole. Because when you pin, you're usually blocking down with one lineman, and then the adjacent lineman is pulling. So it's really important to get your ass out of the hole. All right? And then if we're on the outside zone, the pin guy blocks down, the puller goes around. So what I tell the puller is outside zoner aiming points the armpit. Okay, when you're a puller and you're getting to the second level defender, your aiming point now goes to the number because I want to cover more surface. Okay, when I'm the puller, I never want to think kick out. I always want to think attack the play side number, because 2 reasons. If the linebacker's responsibility is to leverage the block and to funnel it back to the backside linebacker, you'll get more stretch on the guy. If he is going to run underneath and spill it, you have enough surface and enough cover to pin the guy inside. Pin out or pin and pull, you increase the gap that you're trying to create. So we always want to attack the play side half of the defender on our pin and.
And then what pull technique do you use with your, say, your guard?
Yeah. So what we do is we open pull, and we open pull for everything. And for a lot of reasons. If you guys saw the way we open our hips, right? So crack of the ass, bucket step, drop step. Well, when I pull, I'm going to step over the line. Okay. So I want to get my pecker, facing the sideline. So we open pull. And then what I tell my guys is open pull. If it's a pin and pull scheme, we're getting the ball outside, you're going to be running. So I want to open and run. If it's a gap scheme and we're running power, you're opening, but now you just got to pull tighter. I think if you teach too many pull techniques, kids don't master anything. So you become good at everything, but you're not great at anything. So I teach the open pull because it's a extension of what we do in the run game. So I want to open and pull, and that's really the most efficient way to move your body, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions? If not, we'll take a little break. All right, Coach.
Louis, I appreciate it, man. This is awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Coach. Come down to Tucson, check out Arizona Wildcats. All right, Coach Devin, appreciate your time, man. Always a pleasure.
Bear down, guys. Go Cats.
Okay, we're going to take a little 5-minute break. Up next, we have Aaron Flugrad coming up.